As I mentioned at the beginning, we have choice. So as David said, it's not a case of moving everything to the cloud. You will have accountancy packages, you will have CRM packages, you will have other elements, you have file, you have print requirements. They will still remain on-premise in most scenarios. But from a deployment point of view, we give you the options of choice, as in, do you want certain elements to remain on-premise? Do you want certain elements in the cloud? So when I'm talking to businesses regarding potential migrations too, there's a coexistence period where you are on-premise, you want to migrate to the cloud. What's the best fit for us to get you there from a deployment, from a migration point of view? Now, we couldn't do a big bang. I've got smaller customers who've migrated fully over a weekend. I'm doing one project up in Belfast, which is 700 users, and it's going to take 3 months. It's going to be done over consecutive weekends, and it's a very structured project plan, but that's what the business dictated, and our tools will allow them to do this with no impact to the end users. And what we're doing is that we're taking chunks of their email on a very regular basis over the weekends, at a defined period of time, so that when the users come in, they have current emails on 2 weeks previously, and then we'll still bring the historical email over as we move forward. And that was a decision that the business made from a value point of view. They have a lot of content in the email, they want to get it all over, but they just don't have the time frame to allow this to happen over a 3 or 4 day period. If I give you another example, we've a customer in Dublin, 450 seats, migrated over in 2 days. So again, doing the analysis, doing the work with David and his team regarding the planning, it can be very quick. Let me put in the proviso here regarding bandwidth requirements and network requirements and the analysis required, but we can migrate you very quickly over to the cloud as required. Technology benefits. So there's no installation. There's no services required or resources needed to get any additional elements done. Now, as I said, migration is still needed. A migration plan is still required. Working with partners, they're your trusted advisor. They have invested in this, you still need them. But from your point of view, regarding the cost saving side, is that these benefits and these additions and these upgrades are provided as a service. So there's no ongoing installation from an infrastructure point of view required. As I mentioned, it's just a question of enabling the services. You go into a web portal and you turn them on and off. It's as straightforward as that once you've signed up for the service. So again, the complexity of deploying these elements have been considerable, but again, we just turn this on or we provide it as a service. Regarding getting the most of your software investment, so this is where you work with the partners regarding you have a spend, you have a sunken cost in certain hardware, can it be repurposed for other reasons? So if you have an Exchange box and we take that up to the cloud, can you use that hardware for something else within your organization? Remote access or some other elements as such. So there's a lot of discussions regarding your cost or what you've paid for from a hardware point of view. Can you repurpose that within your organization? And typically the answer is yes, because you don't want to spend the latest on HP or Dell when you will be freeing up equipment with this as well. And then the other elements is that as this is a service, Microsoft looks after the patching, Microsoft looks after the updates, you guys don't have to. So any service packs come, we do that in the back end. If we are eventually to move you from Exchange 2010 to Exchange whatever's next, probably 2013, we'll do that in the back end. You guys don't have to worry about that. But even within that, there's flexibility regarding migration and deployment methodologies. So again, it's down to choice and what suits you and your business. And that's part of the discovery of any potential engagement when moving to the cloud. And then the simplified management. We give partners the ability to manage this on your behalf. So we can even take away from that as in, there's still an element of management, there's still enabling services against the users, but all the partners have the capability of delegated administration. So rather than you managing this, you can give the folks in Action Point the ability to manage this on your behalf. So you can ring them and say, I need 5 additional users, or I need these users extra storage in SharePoint. They can do that for you. And all of this is delivered through a very simple web interface. So it's very simple to manage, it's very simple to provision, it's very simple to add in users. You can do it yourselves, or partners can, or Action Point can do it on your behalf. So this is just going to reiterate the advantages of moving to software and service. So again, I mentioned it's the latest version. It's very easy to deploy, it's very quick to deploy, it's subscription based. So regarding the monthly cost model, it's predictable over what your spend is going to be over the period of time. And then you can add in and out the services as required. And there's another element to this, is that getting the most out of your investment in IT means working with a partner across your requirements. As I said, typically when people look at Microsoft, it's Excel, it's a spreadsheet, it's a Word document. There's a lot more that you can do with the technology back-ended with this as a service to drive efficiencies within your business. And David and his team, from the software development point of view and their experience in deploying our technologies, are in a great place to help you with that as well. As I said, that's a key element of it. Now, hopefully that's the end of the slides. Oh, okay, simplified management. This is just to highlight that everything's done through a web browser. To give you an idea from an investment point of view and what's coming down the line from a roadmap point of view. So last month we launched CRM 2011 online. We have a whole part of our business which is Dynamics. So Microsoft does ERP, we do CRM. We launched CRM 2011 online last month first. The on-premise equivalent is still not available in the marketplace and won't be until March. At the end of March, we're going to be launching another cloud-based service which is called Intune. And Intune is a cloud-based patch management, update, antivirus, anti-malware service for your desktops. So if you want to ensure that your desktops and the applications on the desktops are up to date, we'll be offering that through a cloud-based service. And one of the advantages of that is that we will offer customers who sign up for that a copy of Windows 7 Enterprise as well. So rather than the big upfront fee to Microsoft or OEM and a hardware refresh, we will give you a subscription model to get access to Windows 7 Enterprise for every single one of your users that you're going to license it to. So it's an easy way to get updated to the latest version of our operating system without getting into a big complex agreement with Microsoft, for example. And again, it gets into the predictable spend model. So Intune is desktop management in the cloud. You can see all your machines, you can see what status they are, you can see if they're compliant to your organizational needs from a patch management point of view. And again, we're working with the partners. You can delegate control of that for Action Point to look. I'm trying to figure out what I can and can't say because there's a lot coming. So later in the year, you might have heard about Office 365. So Office 365 is the next version of BPOS. So you can blame our marketing department for the name change. But what that does is that it refreshes all the components from the 2007 to the 2010. So you get all the benefits of SharePoint 2010, all the benefits of Exchange 2010, Link Server, which is the replacement for Office Communicators. Sorry about all the product names. But basically what we're doing at the back end is that we're upgrading all of this. You don't have to worry about it. So to give you an example from the email transition point of view, when we do the upgrade, we'll contact you and the partner. We'll set a weekend that suits you and your organization. We'll turn off your administration capabilities, so you can't add or remove users, for example, and we'll live migrate your mailboxes over to the new environment. Your end users will still be able to send and receive during that period of time. There will be no downtime. And then by Monday morning, you're using the latest and greatest from Microsoft as a service. Now, think of doing that on-premise, where you have to upgrade from Exchange, SBS, SharePoint, Office Communication Server. How long would that normally take? That's a project that will take 3-4 weeks, sometimes longer. We'll do that over a weekend for you. And that's the benefit of subscribing to a service. It's just a delivery mechanism that we push down the pipe. You don't have to worry about the hardware or the services to get to that point.